evening to you, the looking of the tube. Hope you're out today, up here in Grand Knolls, in your world. Hello there. Welcome to another How Many Tones Can You Get Out of 1 Amp? The CR120 by Orange, everybody. Today we are doing Pearl Jam. We are after the tones of Stone Gossard and Mike McCready. Mike McCready is one of my all-time biggest guitar heroes, and Stone Gossard is by far one of my biggest riff and songwriting heroes, because the man is a genius, absolute genius. Mike's a genius at lead, and just like that amazing, let it all go and just play. And Stone has just got these most incredible, unique riffs and songwriting style. It's just incredible. So I'm going to use my vintage lemon drop today for Stone. I'm going to use my 60s reissue Mexican Strat for Mike. Going after the kind of 10 era kind of guitar tones. I'm not, but they do work for later Pearl Jam as well, which I'll show you in a minute. But I'm going after those kind of like early, you know, 91 kind of tones that they had, you know, for the album 10 and whatnot. So, so I'm not going to show you the EQ, as I've obviously got two different guitars. I thought I'd do both of them in one video. Why not? Because they're both awesome and they're both in the same band, and that's it. It just needs to be done. So I'm going to tell you the EQ I've got, and I'm going to write in the description box below as well, just so you know if I don't make it very clear. So Stone, I've got the clean channel set up for stuff like Garden, and I've got the dirty channel set up for stuff like the live riff, which you heard at the beginning. So on the clean channel, I have volume at 8, I have bass at 2, and I have treble at 10. And that gives me a really nice kind of like, you know, Stone Gossard-y kind of clean sound, which I really, really like. Dirty channel, moving over, this gives you a live, even flow, once, all those kind of tones. I've got gain at 5, I've got bass at 2, middle is at 3, and trebles at 2, and volume is all the way up on 10. And I've also got reverb on the plate setting, and it's on 8. So a lot of reverb. It just kind of gives it that more of an album-y kind of sound, where there's quite a bit of reverb on the guitars. Not so much on mic. I dial back the reverb for that, but we'll get to that in a minute. So mic settings. Clean channel I've got set for kind of mic clean kind of sound, you know, yellow lead bag, stuff like that. So what I've got is I've got the treble is at 3, bass is at 3, and volume is at 10. And then on the dirty channel, for Mike's kind of like full out kind of lead and full out distortion sound, I've got volume at 10, trebles on 0, middles on 1, bass is on 0, and gain is all the way up on 10. And I've got the reverb down on 6 on the plate. So it just gives it a little bit less reverb, a bit more kind of clarity. So that's what I've got EQ wise for both of them. I'd say I will write in the description box below. So let's have a bit of a chat quick about what they used. Back in the early day, Stone was a Les Paul guy through and through. He had like a Cherry Sunburst Custom, he had a Gold Top, he had a couple of other different Les Pauls as well, mainly for different tunings. Stone's a big kind of like, big guy for using different tunings, and I'll talk about that when I get to playing like Stone. Stuff like Even Flow and Garden and stuff like that, I'll talk about that. Amp-wise, Stone, early days it was Marshall. I won't go into kind of like, you know, I won't keep you forever, but early days it was Marshall JSM800s, but I do see him with, I don't know if it's a Mark II Plexi or it's a Master Volume amp. I'm not 100% sure of what it was, but he had that. You can see it on the more theatre version of Alive. He's using that, but he did use a JSM800 when they went out on tour during the 10 album. And he also had a Fender amplifier, and this varied. It was normally a Fender Twin of some description, but it does vary. But and Mike and Stone's rigs weren't too dissimilar to each other. They were very, very similar in the fact they had this Ernie Ball pan pot volume pedal, which I'll talk about a bit more in a minute. But let me just get through the facts, man. Get through the facts. So where are we? Yeah, so that was kind of Stone's thing. It was a Fender amp for clean, Marshall JSM800 for dirt, kind of like, you know, riff around and stuff. Mike was pretty much the same, JSM800 for full out. He had a Fender Bassman though for his clean. It was a tweed amp. He used that instead of the twin, and you can see them at Pink Pop, just the tweed amp next to his JSM800 double stack. Pedal wise, early days, like I said, they both had the Ernie Ball pan pot volume pedal. And this volume pedal, basically, if it was all the way back, that was just the Fender. The more they rolled the pedal forward, you got more of the Marshall. So if it was all the way forward, you had the Marshall, all the way back was the Fender, and you could get like a nice blend of the two in the middle. And they both used that. Stone also had a Tube Screamer, a TS9 I think it was, and he also used a wireless pack as well, Stone did as well. Mike had a Sansamp distortion pedal, a Dunlop Rotor Vibe, and a Vox Wah Wah pedal. Later went to a Crybaby, but early days it's a silver top Vox. So that's what they basically had. I say Mike was a Strat guy. He did have a Les Paul, but he's mainly a Strat guy back then. He had a black one and like a yellowish kind of off-color one. He did have a Cherry Burst Les Paul as well. It's like a 59 reissue. But anyway, enough on that. That's kind of what kind of era after that's kind of some of the gear they used. They've used so much stuff over the years, Pearl Jam. It's insane. I'll be here all day, and I know you're busy people. So, without further ado, let's get to playing more Stone riffs, because the man's a genius. Okay, so I'm going to start with one of my favourite Pearl Jam riffs, Garden, and this is in drop D. The song's in A minor, but it's in drop D. So, yeah, awesome. Genius. Okay, so this is the this is the clean channel of the CR120, and I'll switch over to the dirty for the chorus. Also do this on the clean channel. Just really nice and clean. I've obviously had to crank the treble to kind of get it really, really bright, but Stone's kind of clean tone is very bright. And at the Pink Pop show, it's almost like a Strat. It's bizarre, but you can also get this. Just need that there. What else can we play? Play this. This is an awesome riff. I don't have words for these riffs. Okay, and then you can play Even Flow, which is in open D minor. real first album. You can't do more modern-y stuff. It's just insanely good. Oh my God! You just lose your mind. You lose your mind. Anyway, that's the sound I've got for Stone Gossard. I feel it's really close. It doesn't quite get this mid-rangey sound that he had. It feels really close. It sounds really close. But there's a certain sound to Stone, obviously because I'm not him, I think it is, and I'm obviously not using his gear. I'm not in that room. But I feel that's as close as I can kind of get to it. Oh, excuse me, I've got hiccups. That's what Pearl Jam will do, give you hiccups. Anyway, I'm going to move on to, I'm going to switch over to my Strat now. I'm going to play some mic solos for you all. So, wow, I'm losing my mind playing this stuff. It's just great. I just want to go and play a gig with this and just rock out. Anyway, I'm back in the set. Okay, so switched over to my 60s reissue Strat now to do Mr. Mike McCready. Mike McCready is a massive influence on me. He's one of my heroes. He's one of those people who I would just love to meet. And if I never got a chance to meet him, I will always kind of be sadder for that. So I really hope one day to kind of like meet Mike McCready. I saw Pearl Jam where I got this hoodie, and it was just like, it was a lot like seeing John Frusciante. It was just like, you know, when you see your heroes play in person, it really is a special thing. And Mike is a big hero of mine. I'd love to meet the man, and you know, hopefully one day. So yeah, Mike's a big hero of mine, and but you know, stop gushing about Mike McCready, Dave. Like I say, Mike was a big user back in the day of JCM 800s. He had a SansAmp distortion pedal as well to boost it. Roto Vibe was a big used pedal back during 10, and so was the Wah Wah pedal. I've got nothing today. I'm not going to use any pedals today. Just because I want to, you know, keep it straight into the amp kind of thing. But obviously with this sound you can add a wah pedal and a roto vibe and a delay and all sorts of stuff. But Mike's sound is a lot darker to Stone's. Stone's is a lot less gain and more punchy, and Mike's is a lot darker and a little bit warmer, hence it kind of gets lost in the mix sometimes against kind of Stone. Sometimes you have trouble hearing Mike over Stone, and it's simply because his sound is a lot darker sounding, because obviously he uses single coils back in the day to Stone's Humbuckers, so it was, you know, and he had more gain as well, so it kind of, it makes him disappear a bit more. But anyway, enough on that. This is the clean channel I've got, and it gives you that yellow lead battery sound, which was recorded during the 10 era. Kind of like well, actually it's got chorus on it in the studio, but not live. But you can kind of get what Mike does in a live, which is this. You know, Mike's rhythm parts are very, very sparse, but they're brilliant because they're that. They complement Stone's riffs so nicely. If you can kind of isolate the two guitar parts, they're so perfect together. Really are. So that's the clean channel I've got. Lead sounds on the dirty channel. You've got kind of a more of that kind of just full out screaming Strat kind of lead kind of sound. So you kind of get a solo like once or something, or it's like nice kind of sound, and when you get to a neck pickup you get those really cool kind of bits he does in a live and stuff. Awesome. He does this one lick in a live on I forget what it was an English programmer, British programmer, and he does this. And that's just mega amazing. That's just so cool. Mega amazing. I don't know what that is. Anyway. Central, but anyway, hope you get the idea. But I suppose I can't really do Mike McCready without. Sorry about that, camera glitch. Anyway, but yeah, I suppose I can't really get away with doing Mike McCready honestly without having to do this. Because Mike does that so much and it's always cool, a lot cooler than me. Mike, if you ever see this video, I love you. I'm getting really carried away. But anyway, yeah. Let me know how close you think I got to the Pearl Jam sound. I feel it's really close. The Stone one has been the bane of my life, trying to get Stone sound. It's a really hard tone to pin down. It really is quite difficult. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. And I say in the description box is the EQ settings and whatnot. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this, and I'll see you again very soon for another video. Have a great morning, afternoon, and evening. Goodbye. Now, have a great one. Goodbye.